What's up, everybody? Back for episode 6. The Homage continues this week. We're taking it to the West Coast, Paris, Sleeping with the Enemy. This is his second album. I'm assuming a lot of you don't know who Paris is. I only discovered him about 3 or 4 years ago. This is his first album, The Devil Made Me Do It, which is behind my shoulder here. So this is his second album, Sleeping with the Enemy, 1992. And then his third album, Gorilla Funk, is to my right shoulder here. I thought I had this on vinyl. I only have it on CD. This album is incredible. So was his first and third, and he has many albums after that too. I'm not as familiar with those, but these first three are must-listens. These are absolute classics. For those who don't know Paris, he's pretty much a West Coast Chuck D. It sounds like Public Enemy on the West Coast, this music, straight up. It's very conscious, pro-black, very socially and politically aware of what's going on and not scared to say what he feels. Which is why his first album was put out on Tommy Boy Records. His second album was not. Tommy Boy refused to put this out, probably to save their reputation and play it safe. He was not politically correct on this album. He said whatever he wanted, as he always does, and he had to suffer the consequences and start his own label, Scarface Records. It has nothing to do with the rapper Scarface or the movie, but Scarface Records is where this would end up coming out, Sleeping with the Enemy, and this is the alternative cover. The first cover actually had him on the White House lawn, like hiding behind a tree with a loaded weapon, like peeking over. So you could imagine why Tommy Boy probably didn't release this album, but I love that stuff. I love people who take a chance and really use their art to say something, even at the expense of their own popularity and, you know, what people may think about them. So Paris is a great example of how to stand on your integrity and say what you really feel, even if it's not the popular opinion. So he's from San Francisco, California. Like I said, I wasn't that familiar with him until about 4 years ago, and since then it's been a huge influence on me. He's influenced by the Black Panthers, obviously, and he was a member of the Nation of Islam, so there's a lot of those teachings in this music. The media pressured Tommy Boy to not release this album, and because of the song Bush Killer. He has a song called Bush Killer on this album, and that was pretty much, they're like, yeah, we're not putting that out. And he's like, all right, well, I gotta release this another way then. And yeah, so let's get into some of these tracks. The first track, Make Way for a Panther. There's 16 tracks on here. There's an intro and 2 interludes, and a remix at the end. But this is the first track, how it comes in. Called Make Way for a Panther. Just check this out. Ready? Should have brought in sooner, but... You know what I'm saying? So high energy, fast-paced beats. To me, I said he reminds me of Chuck D, but his flow and his voice kind of reminds me of Rakim. I feel like he's Chuck D mixed with Rakim, and he's from the West Coast. What more could you ask for? And then the title track, Sleeping with the Enemy. Woo. These beats are crazy. Check it out. Okay, so very anti-government, anti-white power, especially back then. And all that stuff applies till today. So it's more relevant than when he even put it out, unfortunately. As Ice Cube would say, I wish my music wasn't popular or relevant anymore. But unfortunately it is. And to that track I was talking about, which Tommy Boy ended up not putting this album out, it's because of this song called Bush Killer. And this has 2 parts, this song. The media had... It's the second part of the song. Oh man. And then there's some deeper tracks on here too. You probably weren't expecting that from the video I just put out. There's a lot of high energy, aggressive songs from this dude. But I used one of the deeper tracks. But before I get to that one, there's one other one that I really love. It's called Think About It. I think Ice Cube used this sample also. I think Stay True to the Game was the Ice Cube song, same sample. So he's definitely got some soul to him too. He gets deep. He wants to uplift his community. He wants to uplift the black community. I mean, that's the main message. And when he's being aggressive, he's aiming it at a devil or an oppressor. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who's living at the expense of someone else. That's what a lot of my music is too. You live at the expense of someone else, I'm coming at you. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm gonna expose you and I'm gonna tear your ass up on the track. And that's what Paris does, you know what I mean? That's what the fuck a real MC does, you know what I'm saying? This next track's called Gorillas in the Mist.
They never lose, never singing, but swinging and bringing nothing but bad news. And I'm madder than a motherfucker. Won't slip in a record, won't skip, better get hip. Finna pop, but I ain't pop. How many cops gotta drop when they get wrecked? Shot. Window coming up on another level. No hope for the black folk, fucking devil. It ain't nothing but a scam, a stash trap to keep motherfuckers broke and smoking crack. So I'm flipping on the clip.
You know what I'm saying? He's not one of those people talking about, you know, glorifying drugs and sex and fucking crime in the community. He calls out people that are promoting that. It's like, you're a phony. You're only being a negative influence on your neighbor and the people listening to your music. You know what I mean? As MCs, we have responsibilities as to what we put out there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us act like we don't, but fuck that shit. Straight up. And this next track, The Days of Old, is the one I ended up using.
It seems like nobody cares. Big G know what I mean. But nowadays it seems like just ain't the same. Everybody's involved in the game or a gang. And when we die, it seems like nobody cares. It ain't no love and they cold-hearted stares. Thinking to pay back, I'm making a hit. Now cowboys and Indians become real life shit. And life means nothing when the heart is cold. It ain't the same as the days of old.
Man, love that instrumentation. I forgot to talk about the production. Paris did a majority of the production on this. He's a great producer. As you can tell, all these beats are sick. And also, I'm not that familiar, but DJ Shadow, they kept saying a young DJ Shadow found a lot of the samples on this. He actually picked the sample for that. I think he did a lot of the samples, kind of like Alchemist did for DJ Muggs on the Temple of Boom album. So he's kind of digging for the samples, helping Paris pick out some of the illest loops that you could find. And also, Khalik Ashari and Kif also did some of the production on here, but it's majority held down by Paris, from what I believe. And the next track, I love this one, Conspiracy of Silence. Woo! Man, this album's funky too. As aggressive as it is and like conscious, is funky too. And this track features Son Doobie. Son Dubious from Funk Dubious.
When it's time to make the hit, so scared of whitey mother. The past 437 years, you must understand your conspiracy of silence can be no more. Cops be roaring with the search warrant to arrest the doobie.
Son Dubious. Shout out to Funk Dubious.
Is what I had them screaming. Now it's time I shack up. It ain't simple, but I'm bumping through the boarded up windows. But that's how the wind blows. They can never catch me. Hit the dispatch.
Oh man, I love that. Sick production, sick song. And then Funky Little Party. Just a little something lighter. Ooh. And then check it out, y'all. This one's pretty hard here. I love this.
Little lesson is stressing the facts. Let's still be kicking so you know where you at. Like, listen up to the rule for the cut. Feel the funk when the bass hump. Trying to
The
get
nigga enough.
and feel it hitting when the speakers jiggling like jello. With just enough of that good funky shit to keep it mellow. Never fading and staying on course. The only selling out I'm doing is selling out chores.
And then the last one is Asada's song,
And I'm raised right, so ladies still first, but smooth with the
uplifting black women in the community. You know what I'm saying?
thinking of a master plan to protect and respect, cause the fact is I love the black woman.
You know what I'm saying? No negativity, no misogynistic lyrics, no putting women down on this album at all. Not really talking about women that much on the album, but when he is, he does it in a positive way, in a conscious way, in a responsible way, as he always does. Shout out to Paris, man. Like I said, this is his second album. Check out his first album, The Devil Made Me Do It. I actually used a beat on here on Head Nod Music also, which is the Devil Made Me Do It remix, as some of you who have listened to it, I'm sure have noticed. So I used 2 Paris beats on Head Nod Music, one from each album. This is Sleeping with the Enemy, the Days of Old remix I just put out. But like I said, check out The Devil Made Me Do It, and then Gorilla Funk, which is really dope also, with a whole different kind of production style on it. But these first 2 have that sick, you know, old school, fast-paced, funky Public Enemy sound. And it sounds like the Bomb Squad produced some of this. You know, it sounds like Public Enemy. And like I said, Paris, a great MC, great producer also. Make sure you give him props behind the boards as well as on the mic. And check out his music, man. I found him by chance just because, you know, I'm obsessed with hip-hop, so I find new artists every year. He happened to be one of the people I found a few years ago that really changed my listening experience and like how I viewed West Coast rappers. It's not all gangster rap out there at all. So especially in the Bay Area, you know, you got Hieroglyphic, Souls of Mischief, got guys like Paris out here, man. Check out Paris. He's one of one. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no West Coast rappers that sound like him or nothing. Check out Paris, Sleeping with the Enemy. And check out my latest video, The Days of Old. Until next week, the homage continues. Thanks for listening. And please check out Paris, man. I'm dropping jewels on you guys. If you don't know Paris, you need to check this out. And if you don't, then that's okay too. But don't recommend hip-hop to me. Don't tell me what I need to listen to unless you know this and the other 5 episodes I did. Like, I'm hitting you guys with some good stuff here. And I know not that many people are listening. I'm aware of that. But I love doing this, and I know that there's a few people who do love when I do this too. So this is for you. This is for y'all. This is for Paris. The homage continues. Much respect. Peace.